Girbeagly!
Warning. This video contains sexual adult content. Please use proper discretion while viewing. Hey there guys and gals, it's Girbeagly with another episode of Gaming with Girbeagly, and I'm once again playing the game Katawa Shoujo. Now last episode a ton happened. Basically, long story short, we made up with Emmy, she forgave us, she even gave us a little kiss, which was really, really nice, and now she says there's a surprise waiting for us, so she's rushing us to the nurse's office. I don't know if the surprise is in the nurse's office, I don't know what the surprise is going to be, but regardless, things seem to be on the right path. Now I did make a separate save file because I am still very, very worried that things could go disastrously wrong. I'm like terrified that we're still on the wrong path and it's like a choose your own adventure novel and something bad's gonna happen down the line anyway, but I think that we're very close to the end, so we'll find out sooner than later, hopefully. Anyway, let's continue. Grabbing my arm, she practically rushes me down to the nurse's office. You seem in a hurry, Emmy. Trying to catch the early bus?
Yeah, I told Mom I'd be back for lunch.
Well, I'll take care of you first, then.
But Hisao's gotta come with me, too.
The nurse raises a single eyebrow at this statement and peers at the two of us searchingly. Really? Today, huh? Emmy's response is a nod, followed by a surprisingly shy grin. Well then, we'll make this quick. Emmy enters the nurse's office and I patiently wait outside for her to be finished, wondering just why the nurse seemed to be surprised by Emmy's declaration. I feel like I'm missing out on some joke or the significance of today, beyond the fact that it's clearly significant in some way, of course. Alright. True to his word, the nurse has Emmy out of his office surprisingly quick, and I take her place after promising to meet up at the front gate. The nurse takes my pulse and listens for a bit. Your heartbeat's faster than usual. Been pushing yourself again, have you? Well, Emmy seemed in a rush to get through the run, so... I'm not surprised. Today is rather important to her, you know? I suspected that could be the case, but I have no idea why that's the case. That was pretty redundant, Hisao, I won't even lie. She hasn't told you. Interesting. So you're not going to tell me either, then? No, I'm not. I suspect that Emmy has her own plan for explaining today to you, and I don't want to mess with that. You'll find out soon enough, so what's the rush? Now, as for your heart, I would take it easy the rest of the day. No spontaneous races or anything like that, got it? Got it. She won't have her running legs on anyway, right? No, but if you think something like that is going to stop her... Good point. I like the banter between the nurse and Hisao. Like I said in an earlier episode, the nurse has grown on me a ton. He's a really, really funny dude. I don't think it'll be much of an issue today of all days, but still. If he's trying to reassure me, he's doing a terrible job. I'm quickly becoming more and more worried about what today could be for, like suddenly finding out Emmy's in a cult or something. At the same time, if today is such a big deal and Emmy wants me to be with her for it, then maybe she really does want to grow closer to me. Maybe this will be the answer to all the riddles, to the sleepless nights and the sudden mood swings. Now, my guess is, and once again, I don't know anything about this game, I'm playing it completely blind, but my personal guess is, just from all the hints that have been dropped, is that we're going to go visit Emmy's dad with her. Now, whether he be alive or dead, that's the question that remains to be answered, but we'll find out very, very shortly, I feel like. Either way, I barely remember to thank the nurse before taking off as quickly as I dare from my room to get a shower and throw on some decent-looking clothes. If today is as important as it seems to be, I should dress appropriately. Emmy, of course, proves me wrong as soon as I reach the front gate, wearing her usual shirt and shorts. So at least I know it's not a terribly formal affair, whatever it is. Yeah, but that's Emmy all the time, dude. That's just what she does.
You're early, Hisao.
She basically downplays everything, as the whole issue was to begin with that caused their fight, so I don't know why Hisao's surprised by this. Not as early as you. Eager, are we? Emmy cheekily pokes out her tongue. The bus stop isn't very crowded at this hour, which seems to please Emmy, and we end up relaxing a little as we wait. We sit in silence for a while, but I can tell that Emmy's trying to work herself up to say something. I don't have anything to say myself, so I sit waiting for her to talk. It doesn't take too long.
So, I'm sure you're curious as to why the nurse thought it was so weird for me to be bringing you along today.
I was a bit, yes, but if you're not ready to tell me... Whoa, she got really close quick. Emmy stops my sentence by placing a finger on my lips.
Don't tempt me, Hisao. I want to tell you this, but I'm just uncertain as to how to go about it. I don't want to keep delaying or deferring. I just want to be able to say it.
So say it.
You know that it's not going to be that easy for me, Hisao.
So treat it like running. Warm up to it with something small and easy and go from there. But don't do it too fast, okay? I'm a patient man. I can wait for you to get to it. Damn, Hisao, with those running metaphors. Way to connect to your girlfriend. Emmy seems to consider my words, weighing them against what is probably a desire to get it over with. I will admit, as much as I keep telling Emmy to take her time, I wouldn't mind her getting it over with either. But somehow, I know that Emmy probably needs more time than the bus ride will provide to get it all out, whatever it is.
Yeah, maybe you're right. The bus stop probably isn't the best place for this anyway. But just to make sure that I don't go back on my word, I'll at least say this.
She takes a deep breath, lets it out, and after a moment says in a low voice,
We're going to go see my dad today.
I knew it! I knew it! I had a feeling. The words hang in the air and I can see that Emmy's afraid that I'll panic and disappear in response, which part of me almost wants to do. But it would be stupid of me to back out, or to suddenly abandon the promise I made to be there for Emmy when she needs me. The nurse thought it was so weird of her to bring me along. She doesn't bring anyone along, or at least I'm willing to bet that she hasn't before today. The day seems to take on an even greater significance. What has it taken Emmy to even get this far? Ah. And why is that the best I can manage as a response?
Yeah.
I don't know what I should say.
Nothing, I think. Just promise that you're going to come with me.
Of course, you know I will. Emmy smiles wanly, looking a little relieved.
Good. In that case, we'd better get going.
The bus pulls up just a little after she finishes the sentence. Well, that was convenient timing. Vague memories of my first trip out here come to mind as I step off the bus, but unfortunately they're too vague to be of any use. I will be the first to admit that I don't quite recall how to get to Emmy's house, so I let her lead the way. She seems content to walk in silence, and I myself have no idea what I could possibly say, so the two of us arrive at her house having said nothing since getting off the bus. Emmy's mother opens the door and doesn't seem surprised to see me standing next to her daughter. I expect that Emmy would have phoned ahead to let her mother know of the change in plans.
Emmy, Hisao, you're just in time. Lunch is just about ready. Great. I was afraid we might be running late.
As fast as you were going this morning, I doubt there was much of a chance of that.
I certainly hope she wasn't too much of a bother, Hisao. She tends to get a little paranoid about being on time when food's involved.
I hadn't noticed. This earns me a swat on the arm from Emmy, who despite the serious nature of her conversation on the bus and the almost brooding quiet walk, has quickly become cheerful again. Probably to keep her mother from worrying about whatever it is Emmy plans to tell me later. But it's very good that she's opening up. This does seem like a good route now. Like I said before, I'm very, very worried that this is going to turn into a bad route just because we did mess up so much earlier. But then again, a lot of couples fight and a lot of couples grow from it. So I hope that that's the lesson that this route is teaching and that it's going to end up all happy because, like I said before, if this ends up bad and they split up, I'm going to be really devastated by this game. It's going to make me very, very sad. Mrs. Ibarazaki ushers us in, and in short order, we're around the table devouring lunch. I hadn't realized how hungry I was until I got here, but for once I seem to be eating almost as much as Emmy.
Goodness, it's a good thing I made so much. The two of you are acting like you haven't eaten in days.
I skipped breakfast this morning.
Me too. Had to catch the bus, I assume. That, and I figured you'd make too much food, so it wouldn't matter if I skipped breakfast. Well, it's good to know that I'm predictable.
Emmy nods enthusiastically and conversation falls off again as we very nearly clear the table of anything edible. It's a testament to the sheer amount of food on offer that we don't finish everything. I lean back in my chair with a sigh and thank Mrs. Ibarazaki for the food.
I'm glad you liked it, Hisao. Now, has Emmy told you where we're going?
Yeah, sort of. Is it far from here?
Not really, but we'll drive there to save time. It closes kind of early.
I nod in assent and stand up ready to go. Closes? Well then, shall we? Closes, meaning either it's a great... Did I miss something? Did they actually mention that her dad's dead? I can't remember. Oh my god, my brain is blanking right now. If they did already, and I'm just like hypothesizing about nothing and the answer's already been revealed. I'm an idiot and I'm sorry, but closes sounds like a cemetery or possibly a prison. If he is alive, maybe he's in a prison, maybe he's in an institute, you know, maybe he got some head trauma from the accident and they're gonna go visit him during visiting hours at like a home or something. I have no idea. I guess, like I said, we'll find out. Mrs. Ibarazaki nods and leaves the door to grab her keys. Or leaves the room to grab her keys. Emmy, I notice, has started to fidget nervously. Second thoughts? Emmy smiles tightly at me and shrugs. She's fallen silent again, which probably means that I'm right, and she's starting to regret bringing me along. Not that I blame her. She's done such a good job of shutting me out that I doubt it's easy to suddenly open up. Honestly, I'm worried that she's forcing it. But she said while waiting for the bus that I'm not supposed to give her a chance to back out. And since I promised to go with her anyway, I suppose there's not much of a choice. I can't go back on my promise, and she can't go back on hers. I just hope the both of us are up to it.
We're off.
Emmy's mother blows through the dining room, collecting the two of us, and heads out the door at a brisk pace. Now I know where her daughter gets it from. The car pulls up at the cemetery gate, so it is the cemetery. Alright. And I feel Emmy tense up beside me. So they had to have revealed that he died, and I'm just being a complete idiot, and I'm sorry about that. Unless, like I said, there was some sort of issue where they didn't mention it, and now we're just supposed to be like, oh, the cemetery. Damn, I never would have guessed that he was actually dead in the ground. What? Like, I don't know. I don't know if it was supposed to be that. Like I said, my memory is that of a goldfish's, so I kind of forgot if they mentioned it, and I'm very, very sorry if that ruins the immersion at all. But let's continue. Obviously, Emmy's dad is dead. That's very, very sad. But anyway, the car pulls up at the cemetery gates, and I feel Emmy tense up beside me. I reach over and give her hand a comforting squeeze, which causes her to relax a little. Emmy's mother doesn't follow us, explaining that she prefers to visit the grave alone. Emmy steps through the gates and looks back as if to make sure I'm still there. We step into the cemetery. I don't feel comfortable in cemeteries. Gravestones litter the ground, each one serving as a reminder that someone used to be alive and is no longer. How many died young? How many were as old as I am now? When do I wind up with a marker of my own? How much longer do I have left? That's some heavy shit, man. The concept of not waking up, not seeing Emmy anymore, is not a happy one. It frightens me, and I very nearly turn around and exit right then and there. I don't want to go among dead people. I don't want to see their stones and think about who they were, or what they could have been if they'd only had more time. Then I look at the girl next to me and my resolve returns. Emmy's striding purposefully down the path, eyes clear, setting a pace that's very nearly a jog. The sooner we get there, I suspect she thinks, the better.
We're here.
Oh, damn. A gravestone, wholly unremarkable in everything except for the name etched upon it. The grass has grown up around the base. Emmy's eyes are riveted to the stone. After a few moments, she turns around looking surprisingly calm, yet solemn.
Pink's not actually my favorite color, you know?
What?
I'm warming up to it.
Ah.
People tend to think that pink's my favorite color. I think it's because I like strawberries, and even though those are red, they just assume that pink's the right color for strawberries. And that it's my favorite color. But it's not. I'm too polite to tell anyone otherwise, of course, and it's not the kind of thing worth getting worried about. But I'll bet even you thought pink was my favorite color. Blue. That's my favorite color. My mom and dad are the only two who know that. And now you do too.
Aw, she is opening up a lot. This is good. Thanks for telling me, I think.
You're welcome.
There's a pause as she considers what to say next, drawing a quick breath.
I can't carry a tune to save my life. I can hum, but actually singing a song is something I've never been able to do. I don't mind because I'm not a fan of karaoke anyway.
Well, that's one potential date idea out the window.
People all think that I'm a really popular and friendly person, but I only have a few very close friends. Probably because I keep everyone in the dark, but I think it's also because I hate the idea of losing a close friend. There aren't many people worth the risk. I'm terrible at saying goodbye. I sometimes think that I only run because it's what I used to do with my father. You're not my first boyfriend. I dated a guy for a long while during my second year at Yamaku, but in the end we broke up because I didn't want to get closer to him. He couldn't live with that distance between us.
Her rate of speaking increases slightly, as if she's rushing towards a finish line. Man, so she's really opening up now. She is warming up. This is very good for Hisao, but it looks like it's almost causing her a little bit of pain, and hopefully, she gets used to it and they ease into it a bit more here.
I'm actually 1 year older than you. Everybody thinks I'm younger because I'm short, but I had to skip 1 school year because of my accident.
That makes sense.
They initially thought I was paralyzed when they pulled me out of the wreckage. I'd lost my legs already, but they were afraid that I wouldn't be able to use what was left of them. After surgery, it was clear that their initial assessment was mistaken. I couldn't feel my legs because of shock, short-term paralysis due to the other trauma I'd experienced. My recovery was one of the fastest they'd ever seen, or so they told me. I never found out if they were serious about that, or if they told that to all the patients learning to walk again.
She pauses, gathering herself for one last effort.
8 years ago today, I lost my legs, and I lost my father as well. He died on the way to the hospital. I didn't even get to go to the gravesite until 2 months later, and I couldn't attend his funeral.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be. That's what everyone always says, that they're sorry. I hate hearing that. Like anyone could have done anything to change what happened. You know the best piece of advice I got? These things happen. I don't even remember who said it, but I guess they didn't have anything better to say. But it's true, These things happen, and there's nothing you can do about it. They aren't necessarily planned, and they aren't always bad, and they aren't always good, but they are. So I made the decision that I would live without worrying about the future, and to be sure that I never had to say goodbye again, I decided I wouldn't let people get close to me anymore. After all, they could be taken away at any time. And you know what?
She laughs a little bitterly. Her eyes start to well up with tears, and I step forward to embrace her, but she holds up a hand to stop me.
I'm not finished.
A deep breath, and she continues.
It worked pretty well, until I met you and saw that you were trying to adjust to stuff here, so I thought I'd help you, and then you were so nice and I couldn't help it.
Aw, Emmy. The tears are flowing now and she accepts the embrace this time. The rest of her sentence is mumbled into my chest.
I tried not to fall for you, but I did. And then I tried to keep you at a distance, like with my first boyfriend, but I couldn't. But I've been so scared because I don't want to lose you, and I might anyway.
Hey, I'm still around, right? And maybe I won't be forever. But don't you think it'll be fun while it lasts? Neither of us could survive the day. There could be a bus crash or something. But so long as I know that I've been with you, I don't think it matters. A sudden thought strikes me and I can't help but laugh. I can't help laughing. Jesus, I'm sorry guys that I'm messing up this scene. My condition had me scared of dying so badly that I immediately seized on the opportunity Emmy presented to improve my odds of living longer. But without Emmy, would there have been any motivation to keep up with my running? It hits me that Emmy is the reason I want to go running every day so I can spend as much time with her as possible. Emmy looks at me, confused. We'll go on living until we stop. And when we stop living, we'll be able to know that at least we've had time together, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Because I love you, Emmy, and right now, that's enough for me. Emmy smiles through her tears and steps back from me.
It's funny.
What is?
I thought that the best way to live in the moment was to do it alone. But now, I don't think I'd have it any other way either. I'm glad I met you, Hisao.
Well, these things happen. Emmy and I stay by the grave for a while, as Emmy pays her respects to her father. When she's ready to go, we exit the graveyard side by side. Aw, that was a sweet scene. That was a really sweet scene. Emmy's mother drives us back to Yamaku. The trip back is very quiet. We wave goodbye as the car drives off, and I glance down at the girl leaning on my arm. How are you feeling? Emmy shrugs non-committally.
I'll be fine. Come on, let's go.
We pause outside the girl's dorm, and I turn to face Emmy, ready to say goodbye.
Why don't you come up for a while?
Okay. The walk up to her room is in silence. I'm not sure why I suppose I'd be turned away at the door. I guess I just assumed she'd want to be alone. Her mom, the nurse, hell, everyone who knew the significance of today seemed to think it best to leave Emmy alone. But she took me into the graveyard with her. She told me the whole story of what happened on the day she lost her legs. She wanted me around. The significance of this does not escape me. Emmy opens the door and steps into her room, not even bothering to invite me in, holding the door for me expectantly. I step in and the door swings shut behind me.
Hey, can I ask you a favor?
Sure. Can't guarantee I'll do it, but... Emmy giggles and pulls me into a kiss that starts off soft, but deepens into something almost desperate.
Stay with me, please?
Her voice is dropped to a whisper. The question is barely audible over the sound of my own breathing. There's something about the way that she asks the question, the hesitancy in it, the quiet voice that makes me think she doesn't mean tonight. No, she means exactly what she said. Stay with me, not tonight or forever, because both of us know there's no such thing as forever. There's no time limit to her request. There's just the request. The favor. Can I do that? Can I stay with her? Of course. We embrace again, Emmy guiding me towards her bed, stepping backwards with care until she sits down on the edge. Whoa, okay, I was not expecting that. God damn it, game. She's got my shirt off by this point, and I've similarly lifted hers over her head, bra and all. Her shorts come off just as quickly. With practiced ease, she removes her legs and pulls me onto the side of her bed with her, my hand coming around her smooth shoulder. I cast my gaze over her face, down her neck, following the line to the swell of her breasts before I lower my head, planting kisses across her chest, listening to her breath hitch as her hand slides further and further down my chest. I hope this cuts off at some point, because honestly, as sweet as intimacy is in this moment, it seems a little bit misplaced just due to the fact that, you know, that was a humongous emotional reveal, and I know that their passion is really high right now, but it's a very weird transition to make as far as just text style goes, as far as reading style goes, to go from mega romantic to mega romance novel, if you get what I'm saying. As I work my way back up to her neck, I can feel her hands working at my belt. Oh, excuse me guys, I got the burpees. Now fumbling slightly with the buckle, now unbuttoning, now unzipping, until my pants fall to the floor. Her panties are noticeably darkened in the right place. And they did it. They went there. They said it. They did the thing. Showing that my earlier ministrations had produced some results. Great, Hisao. I step back quickly and shuck my boxers, and move back in as Emmy reaches over into a drawer on her nightstand, removing a small foil package. She tears it open with a quick jerk of her teeth and reaches down to apply the protection, which, as always, causes me to gasp a little. That condom, though. Her expression suddenly changes as she takes the view of me in. Oh, she's back.
Wait a second. Are you still in your socks?
I pause and look down. Apparently I am. Yeah, does that matter?
Take them off. It's weird if you still have them on.
You know, you've still got your socks on, too.
Yes, but I don't have my legs on, so it doesn't count.
Unable to deny her logic and impatient to have the conversation over anyway, I quickly remove the offending items. I'm so eager to get back at Emmy that I practically jump on top of her, pushing her down playfully. Fade away, scene, fade away. Okay, or there's a brand new scene. A brand new thing to censor for everybody involved. Emmy's giggling and squirming quickly ends, replaced by a happy sigh as I enter her. Breathing deeply as she savors the feeling, she spreads her arms to grab the sheets. I was going to end the episode like 3 minutes ago, but then this started happening, and we gotta get through it, guys. I'm sorry. It's gonna be an extra long episode, just to warn you. Her breath is in my ears as I begin moving, whispering words of encouragement, nipping at my neck, now at my mouth. My hips hit the edge of the mattress, shaking the bed. A part of my brain briefly wonders if I should try to be quieter before succumbing to the waves of pleasure racing up my spine. Emmy's stomach tenses as she grows closer to the edge, and as our bodies both begin to glisten with sweat, time begins to become hazy. The sound of my own breathing mingles with Emmy's panting, and I ready myself for a final surge before surrendering to the rushing wave of climax. Eat your heart out, 50 Shades. Oh man. Emmy's body shudders and she cries out, her fingers digging into my back as I too lose control of myself. My back arches as I let myself go, feeling my body spasm as I orgasm. That was a great rhyme, Hisao. You are Dr. Seuss of sex. Okay, guys, I'm actually gonna end it there because that was the intimacy. That was the whole kit and caboodle, and now they're just doing pillow talk. So we're gonna end the episode. Like I said, that took a very sudden turn for me. I was not prepared for that. It's really awesome that Emmy opened up, though. Like, on a serious note, it was very, very cool that she, you know, opened up on a romantic note at the graveyard and just explained everything. She got it all out in the open. She warmed up to Hisao. Hisao knows now at this point that, you know, he's in. He's, you know, part of her life. He's part of her inner circle that she can trust and share things with, and that's excellent. That's really, really great for them. It was very emotional at the graveyard, and now it's emotional in a different way. So we'll finish this up. I don't know if it's going to be the last episode next episode or in the next few, but I feel like we have to be coming to a close here. If you guys enjoyed this episode, though, please be sure to hit the like button, share the video, and favorite it. Also, be sure to subscribe to me if you guys haven't already. For those of you who have, thank you so much for all of your support. You guys are the best in the world. I love every single one of you, and as always, it was great seeing ya. Bye-bye. Okay, judging by size, these appear to be the remains of a junior or senior high school student. Closer inspection reveals a school ID name tag. Ooh, I got another name tag. Yes, that's not me. I'm not Kazami.